Episode 1 of the 5-Star Weekend begins with Hollis Shaw, a cooking influencer, getting ready for Christmas when she receives some horrible news. Her husband Matthew has died in a car accident. We then cut forward 6 months later. Hollis is on a cooking talk show and we learn that she has gotten even more successful and is currently promoting her second cookbook. However, she breaks down when she accidentally remembers her husband. Since cooking isn't helping Hollis move on, her assistant Chelsea suggests having a girls' weekend with friends from different phases of her life at a summer house in Nantucket. Hollis initially tries to invite her daughter Caroline, who doesn't have time for her. Instead, Hollis gives in and invites 5 friends. There's Joanne Jones, the college friend, who currently runs a sports agency, which has also signed her daughter Posey, who happens to be a young soccer player. Joanne is your typical mummager and doesn't let Posey take a break. Her harsh words get her cancelled and her agency insists she lie low for the weekend. There's also Brooke Kirtley, who knows Hollis from their new mummy support group. Brooke is a shopaholic, innocent and easily entertained. She has a slightly controlling husband who hides behind a charming veneer. She also doesn't have a lot of friends. Next is Tatum Mackenzie, Hollis's childhood friend. After Hollis's mum died, Tatum's mum raised her until she died of breast cancer. Tatum seems to have a cancer scare of her own and will get the report back on Monday. She's cynical but also playful and sex positive. She runs her parents' dry cleaners along with her husband. Finally, we have Gigi Ling, who is actually an internet friend from Hollis's influencer era. She's currently working as a pilot and seems to care about Hollis as she actually delays her takeoff to pick up Hollis's phone. It seems they got close after Matthew passed away. However, this is not just a personal weekend. The book launch has been pushed and to stay relevant, Hollis needs to put out content about the weekend. And while Hollis prepares a summer house, Caroline shows up, feeling guilty of leaving her mum alone. She's disappointed to learn that Hollis quickly made new plans but agrees to stay. On the ferry to Nantucket, Brooke runs into her former bully, Electra, who also happens to know Hollis. Electra is upset that Hollis didn't invite her and even grabs a photo of the weekend itinerary from Brooke. Joanne is the first to show up and we learn that she's actually Caroline's godmother. She knows more about Caroline than Hollis does and suggests she take photos and videos for their content. Brooke's introduction is undoubtedly a chaotic one. She's goofy and clumsy, constantly rambling, which makes her the butt of the joke. She ends up rambling while showing her gratitude for how Hollis helped her with Electra. Hollis doesn't pay her much heed though, and Brooke feels insecure. On top of that, Electra scares Brooke by threatening to show up for dinner. Tatum arrives next, having gotten a lift from Hollis's very first boyfriend, Jack. Things are awkward but cute as a flustered Hollis greets Jack. Inside, Tatum and Joanne throw barbs at each other, making it clear that they really don't get on. And while the women get ready, Caroline cries while watching videos of her dad. A dinner that night starts off tense as the 3 friends are upset to learn that while Hollis shut them out, she looked to Gigi for support after Matthew's death. Hollis insists that she felt more comfortable opening up to a stranger. Gigi finally shows up and wins them over, mostly anyway. The conversation turns lighthearted before it lands on a topic of porn. When Caroline pushes Hollis to contribute, the latter shuts her down. An upset Caroline lashes out at Hollis for only caring about her followers and her image. An overwhelmed Hollis then rushes out to get the dessert, but it's burnt and she starts crying. She recalls the last time she spoke to Matthew, and it turns out they actually fought before he left. Gigi finds her and comforts her, while Tatum watches from afar. Hollis confides in Gigi that Caroline thinks she's alone in her grief. However, Hollis cannot sour Matthew's memory for Caroline by telling her the truth and why her grief is way more complicated. At this, Gigi gets upset and runs off. She goes to her room and cries while playing a voicemail of Matthew, where we learn that they were shockingly having an affair. So the 5-Star Weekend was an emotional, chaotic, but also rather entertaining beach read, and its TV show adaptation seems to be shaping up to be something very similar. Right off the bat, the first episode is a visual treat, definitely a favourite for those who love cooking, with all the mouth-watering dishes that are set out by Hollis. Obviously, along with the aesthetic value, the cooking also represents Hollis's mental state, as she tries to stay afloat and move on by focusing on what she does best and enjoys the most, cooking. Finally, we have the daughter and the friends, who are all vastly different and actually suggest why this whole getaway was a bad idea. But hey, it's too late to call it off anyway, right? Duran and Tatum constantly butt heads. Tatum, overprotective of Hollis, is rightly suspicious of Gigi, and Brooke is mostly mocked, which will surely get to her. Then there's Caroline, who thinks her mum is callous only because Hollis is trying to protect her. There's lots of different threads that are swimming around in this one that I'm sure will be pulled and unravelled in the episodes ahead, and it definitely makes for good TV. However, whether this one will be fully faithful to the source material or not remains to be seen. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.